Unprecedented collapse. China's home prices keep crashing for 37 months. Security incident at Tiananmen. Young man arrested after rushing flagpole. China's economy keeps sliding. Over 11,000 insurance branches shut down in 5 years. China's second-hand housing market is collapsing. Prices in 100 cities have dropped for 37 straight months, and the fall is only accelerating. China's property market is in deep trouble. According to the latest data from real estate research institutions, second-hand housing prices in 100 cities continued their downward spiral in May 2025, with losses still widening. Prices have now fallen for an unprecedented 37 consecutive months, signaling a severe and prolonged market freeze. Data released by China Index Academy on June 1st shows that in May, the average price of second-hand residential units in 100 cities was 13,794 yuan per square meter, a 0.71% decline from April. Year on year, that's a staggering 7.24% drop. Both monthly and annual declines are sharper than in previous months, showing worsening market sentiment. Even in China's most developed cities, second-hand housing is losing value. Prices in first-tier cities dropped 0.37% from the previous month, while second-tier, third-tier, and fourth-tier cities saw even steeper monthly declines of 0.78% and 0.76% respectively, showing no region is immune from the downturn. In stark contrast, new housing prices in 100 cities posted a small gain in May, averaging 16,815 yuan per square meter, up 0.3% month-on-month and 2.56% year-on-year. New home prices in first-tier cities jumped 0.9%, led by Shanghai with a 1.47% surge. Second-tier cities saw a minimal 0.06% increase, while third- and fourth-tier cities posted a 0.11% dip. Huang Tao, general manager of Guangzhou Seniline Property, told Lianhe Zhaobao that new home prices rose mainly because high-end properties in core urban areas entered the market in May. But behind the numbers, he warned, most projects are still struggling with poor sales and oversupply. Take Guangzhou as an example, Huang said. Among the 400-plus real estate projects currently for sale, only fewer than 10 are doing well. The rest, about 390, are barely hanging on. He explained that the glut of supply and lack of buyers is forcing second-hand homeowners to slash prices just to sell, sending prices crashing back to levels from 7 or 8 years ago. According to Huang, China's overall economic environment is filled with uncertainties, both domestic and international. Policies like interest rate cuts and lower down payments have lost their impact, hitting a dead end. In the past, rising home prices meant borrowing to buy was a sure win. Now, even with zero down payment, people don't dare to buy. Salary cuts and layoffs have killed confidence. Without job security, who dares to carry a mortgage? Security incident at Tiananmen. Young man arrested after rushing flagpole. As the 36th anniversary of a highly sensitive historical event approaches, an unusual incident occurred during the morning flag-raising ceremony at a major public square in Beijing on June 2nd. According to videos circulating on overseas social media, a young man in black reportedly crossed over a railing and ran toward the national flag. He was quickly intercepted by several security personnel on the scene and taken away. The event has sparked widespread online attention. Footage shows that the square was crowded with visitors attending the ceremony. As the national anthem ended, the man suddenly broke away from the crowd, crossed several barriers without hesitation, and ran toward the flagpole. Just before he could reach it, plainclothes officers and other security personnel swiftly tackled and subdued him. He was then carried face down by several individuals and placed into a nearby vehicle. While he was being escorted away, security officers at the scene repeatedly instructed bystanders not to take photos or videos. Observers also noted that the vehicle used to remove him had already been stationed there prior to the ceremony, with a clear access path to the flag area. Given the timing, just ahead of a particularly sensitive date, the incident quickly became a topic of discussion online. Some users commented on the preparedness of the security team, suggesting they seemed well-practiced in managing such situations. Others remarked on the intense level of security in the area, noting that the square has long been heavily monitored. There were also broader reflections online about national symbols and public trust. One netizen wrote that a flag's significance should come from genuine public respect rather than being enforced by physical barriers. Another commented that when a symbol becomes overly sensitive, it may indicate a deeper sense of insecurity. Each year during this period, authorities across various regions reportedly increase monitoring of individuals seen as sensitive figures, including certain advocacy groups and independent voices. According to reports from international media, some individuals in Beijing have been contacted by local police and instructed to stay under close supervision during this time. Despite financial pressures, the authorities continue to prioritize maintaining public order around this historical milestone, indicating a strong emphasis on managing public sentiment and collective memory. China's economy keeps sliding. Over 11,000 insurance branches shut down in 5 years. As China's economic slump drags on, the insurance sector is undergoing a massive wave of closures. Official data reveals a staggering 11,158 insurance branches have vanished from the Chinese market in just 5 years, marking not only shrinking demand but also the mounting cost pressures and deep transformation woes haunting the industry. Lately, the State Administration of Financial Supervision has released a string of notices approving the closure of numerous branches. Among them, Everbright Sun Life's Xianyang Central Branch, Ping An Pension's Sanya Branch, Taikang Life's Zhapo Service Department, Chang'an Insurance's Leixi Branch, and others under giants like PICC and China Life. These closures are just the tip of the iceberg in a sweeping downsizing storm hitting China's insurance landscape. In fact, the contraction has been relentless throughout the past 5 years. Data shows the number of branch closures fluctuated from 2020 to 2024. 971 closures in 2020 during the pandemic's onset. A jump to 2,197 in 2024. 2021, a peak of 2,966 in 2022. And though the figure dipped in 2023, it still stood at 2,065. In 2024, 2,013 more branches disappeared from the map. The year 2025 shows no signs of slowing. According to International Financial News, by the end of May, 946 more insurance branches had been shut down, 753 from life insurers and 193 from property insurers. Altogether, the industry has seen 11,158 branches vanish in just 5 years, signaling a deep structural pullback across the sector. Taikang Life alone led the contraction trend with 178 closures in 1 year, spanning central and regional branches, service departments, and more. Even foreign players like Star companies are retreating, cutting back their provincial presence until only 6 regional offices remain. Insiders at Taikang Life point to a grim mix of reasons: prolonged economic weakness, shrinking markets in lower-tier cities, weak consumer spending, and difficulty scaling operations in smaller regions. Yang Fan, general manager of Beijing Pai Insurance Agency, adds that the root problems include limited local market capacity, soaring labor and management costs, intensifying competition, and the growing pressure to go digital, all combining to force companies to retreat, restructure, or vanish entirely.
China banking crisis. Deposit 100,000 yuan, but only allowed to withdraw 3,000 from a Guangdong bank. On the evening of September 28th, the news that a deposit of 100,000 yuan in a bank can only withdraw 3,000 yuan, about 420 USD, was on the hot search list, sparking heated discussions. On the 27th, a netizen posted a video revealing that when he withdrew money from the Yuanzhou branch of the Bank of China in Boluo, Huizhou City, Guangdong Province, he had deposited 100,000 yuan but could only withdraw 3,000 yuan. On the 28th, the person involved told Jimu News that he later provided a third-party certificate before he was able to withdraw the money. The person involved said that when he was withdrawing money, the staff asked him where the money came from. He said that it was a friend who had urgently transferred the money to him. The friend who transferred the money was also present at the time, so he showed the transfer record and a photo of his friend's ID card. However, the staff said they needed to see the friend's original ID card. His friend had to go home to retrieve the ID card for the staff to check before they finally allowed the withdrawal. The person involved said that, fortunately, his friend lived nearby. But what if his friend had lived hundreds of kilometers away? What would have been the point of withdrawing the life-saving money he urgently needed? In response, the Bank of China's customer service said that the branch's actions may have been taken to prevent fraud. This incident triggered heated discussions among mainland netizens. Please change Huizhou to include the whole of China. Yes, my agricultural bank card has a daily limit of 1,000 yuan. Same as Shenzhen, you can only withdraw 2,000 yuan with a salary of 6,000 yuan. Just to prevent fraud, this method is adopted. Or for what purpose, it's hard to say. Only they know. Unreasonable regulations should be abolished. Serving the people is not managing the people. Why should banks restrict users' withdrawals? Should banks serve depositors or relevant departments? Why should we understand? This is an infringement of the legitimate rights and interests of customers. If you encounter this situation, go directly to the China Banking Regulatory Commission to complain. This is a one-size-fits-all approach of inaction, which is very distinctive. Under the pretext of preventing fraud, it is actually a malicious restriction. It's bullying depositors' freedom to deposit and withdraw money. Limiting personal transfer and withdrawal limits really brings a lot of inconvenience, but it doesn't prevent scammers from transferring assets at all. I don't understand. My wife transferred money to me, and when I went to withdraw cash, I had to provide my marriage certificate and my wife's ID number. I borrowed money from a friend, and when I went to withdraw it, the bank asked me to provide the other party's ID number and phone number. I also had to call to verify. It's really troublesome, and the transaction time gets longer, while the people waiting behind me keep cursing. I found something very strange. Ordinary people's normal transfers and withdrawals are limited, but it is very easy for scammers to transfer money. It was originally a number that was deposited, but in fact, the money was misappropriated. The money was misappropriated and the deficit was lost. The economy is finished and the bank has no money.